Hello, my name is Fan Yuman, and I'm an acoustic engineer at Microphone Technologies. Today, I would like to walk you through about our in situ sound absorption measuring system and how to perform an in situ sound absorption measurement. So normally when we are performing the measurements of sound absorption, we have to deform the material or we have to move the material away from its original mounting for laboratory testing. With the PU in situ sound absorption, we are able to restrict the background noise and reflections, and we can measure the sound absorption in a broad frequency range from 300 Hz to 10 kHz. So this enables us to measure sound absorption of materials in situ. So now let's take a look how we can make this happen. Alright, so after setting up everything, which took about 4 minutes, now we can see what we have in the box. So we have a PU probe that contains one pressure microphone and one particle velocity sensor, and we have a loudspeaker, one data acquisition system, and one signal conditioner. And what we newly have is the reference sample that can be provided as a validation to check up the measurement environment and also the measuring system. We are going to measure the reference sample later on. So once you're done with the setup, there are some things to be mentioned. First is to keep the cable from the probe loose and not to get it stuck between structures. And also, although you see the reference sample on the table, don't do the measurements on the table. We're going to show you where to do the measurement. So here what you can see is our Velo software for the in situ absorption. And for the first step is the hardware setup, where you can, for example, check if the data acquisition system is connected, set up the sampling rates, input the calibration parameters for the probe. And after all this is set up, we move on to the capture tab, where we can perform the measurements for the reference sample. Now we are on the capture tab. There's a button saying measure your reference sample, and we click on it. Now what we have to do is to set up the calibration measurements. And we have to put the whole setup and the reference sample away from any reflective surfaces, for example walls, ceilings, and place the reference sample on a hot floor. So after setting up the hardware, we aim the probe to the air, of course to avoid any potential reflections, and then we can click on the capture button. So after the calibration measurements, the software jumps automatically to the second step, which is to test on the reference sample. What you have to do is to rotate the setup and put the probe parallel to the sample surface and with the cable connector facing to the loudspeaker. Now the probe has to be 5 mm above the center of the sample, and then we can click on the capture button. Once the reference measurement passed, that means your measurement environment is proper and your measuring system is correct for you to perform the real measurements on your own materials. Now you know how to use our measuring solution to measure sound absorption not only in situ, but also in a broadband frequency range within only 20 minutes. So if you would like to know more about in situ absorption or other microphone products, feel free to contact us or visit our website.